You mentioned the public relations savvy of this Bush White House. Does it bother you at all as a longstanding investigative reporter and ostensible truth teller that two-thirds of the American people thought Saddam Hussein and Iraq had helped to bring down the World Trade Towers within 6 months to a year after the invasion, when in fact we later find out the whole rationale for war was flawed, to put it charitably? Can you explain to me, where does this White House fit in terms of manipulating information, but also where does the press corps fit in over 30 or 40 years?
They're very good at spinning it, as was the Clinton White House, as have lots of White Houses.
It seems like they've gotten better, though.
Yeah, I think that they have more people working on it, and the art form is there's certain things you can do, like recommend something that might be critical because people will then think it's favorable. But that's life. But the way I look at it, particularly about weapons of mass destruction, which is a giant issue and should be an issue.
Right.
I write in State of Denial how the general in charge, General Spider Marks, in his war diary expressed doubts about the existence of WMD, and he was in charge.
Right.
Turns out Rumsfeld himself wrote a memo 5 months before the war voicing, listing 29 things that might go wrong, and number 13 was, we may not find WMD, weapons of mass destruction, on the ground. So he had doubt. I ran a story in the Post before the war saying there's no smoking gun intelligence on weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I let that drop. I fault myself mightily for not knowing what that meant. When you don't have smoking gun intelligence, you don't know what you have. You have a lot of circumstantial evidence, which sometimes can be wrong. I should have been much more aggressive in looking at that, just like the CIA and the administration and all kinds of other people should have. But I really get in a hair shirt on this, as I've said, because I was in a position to be more aggressive. As George Tenet, former CIA director, says in his book, well, it was implausible that Saddam didn't have weapons of mass destruction. Well, implausibility is not evidence.